played 204 games for Borough, scoring 23 goals before moving to Anfield, where he shared in domestic and European triumphs, winning 5 league titles, 3 European Cups in 7 seasons.
Any of the major trophies, if you win a championship, that's a special occasion. You know, if you win 3 European Cups, it's what dreams are made of. And it's ironic because at the time you think, European Cup we've won. Great, you know, it's a big deal, but it's not that big because Liverpool have always done that. And then, you know, you look at the hype that's gone with Manchester United this year doing it. You know, the enormity of the whole thing comes home. But at the time we didn't think like that because at Liverpool at the time there was always that feeling that what they tried to instill into you. You're a good player, you're in a good team, but you're not as good as the team that was here before you. And you were forever trying to be better than what you were. And it was another way hitting you on the head and keeping your feet on the ground.
You've always had this champagne Charlie image. You know, how have you coped with that?
Yeah, I think I like champagne. Someone else is buying it. But I like a glass of champagne, but I think my pals and anyone that knows me would not agree that that's me. You know, from where I started as a young boy, you know, I was one of 3 boys, we lived in a prefab, council prefab. Father had 2 jobs to give us what we all wanted, very basic beginnings. And I don't think you ever forget them. And although I like the nicer things in life, as we all do, I'm certainly not. I'm not a Billy Big. Maybe when I was a bit younger, maybe I had an attitude then, but certainly as you mature, I like to think I'm a straightforward guy.
I must ask you, as a boy, my boyhood hero and idol was Kenny Dalglish. You know, what was he like on and off the field?
Kenny? Miserable bugger.
Oh, he's
off the
Scottish.
pitch. No, I'm sure you've met Kenny. Kenny's a unique character. He's somebody who you have to get to know him. You know, he's full of one-liners, and I think that's his barrier he puts up for strangers. You know,
he ain't like that, is he?
No. Once you get past that, he's a very different person. And you know, I would profess to know everything about him, but we sort of stayed in the same. Sounds terrible. Stayed in the same bedroom for 7 years, and we shared rooms for 7 years, and I know a hell of a lot about him. And he's not the man that the popular image that is thrown out about him. And on the pitch, he was just simply the best, man. There just wasn't anybody better.
You rate him as one of the best?
It wasn't the best by that much. He was the best by that much. You know, in midfield, you would, you know, your head's down and you maybe try to get the ball back, and the ball's breaking. You win it, and if you just saw, only just look for his socks. You know, you knew where he'd be in the general direction. Give it to him. If you saw his socks, just give it to him, and then he'd make something happen. And he'd make the rest of us look great players.
Leaving Anfield, you moved to Sampdoria. How did you enjoy your time in Italy?
Tremendous. I was lucky to go to Sampdoria, who were on the way up. They were a young team, and I'd been brought in to be a father figure to all these young players, and I had the likes of Gianluca Vialli, Mancini, who's now at Lazio. I had a lot of young players. You know, they were only sort of 18, 19, and I was 31 when I went in there. So I signed for 3 years, and the first year went really well. We won the Italian Cup, which was the first trophy Sampdoria had ever won. And then the second year, not so great. I think we finished about 5th or 6th. And then at the end of the second year, I got offered to. At the end of the second year, he's called me in. The president, Mantovani, his name was, and asked me if I wanted to stay for the 3rd year. I said, yeah, I'm happy to stay. I enjoy it here. I'd just like you to go out and buy some more quality and give us a real chance at the championship, because these young players were only getting better. And then within 2 weeks of me having that meeting with him, well, immediately after that meeting, he decided to sell a guy called Mattioli, who had brought in to play with me. But he had turned around after 6 games and said he couldn't play with me, he could only play in my position. So the president gets me in at the end of the second year and says, look, you happy to stay? I said, yes. I said, okay then. So he immediately sold Mattioli to Inter Milan. And within 2 weeks, I had to go back in and say, look, I've had this chance to go back and manage one of the biggest teams in Britain. I'd love to go. And he was fantastic about it.
Next move was to Glasgow Rangers as player manager. You know, people describe Glasgow as living in a goldfish bowl. How did you find it?
Well, I'm from Edinburgh, so I used to do the hour's journey every day. You know, I would drive through, and Glasgow it's a big footballing city, and it's a village when it comes to football. There's a rumour every day, you know, so and so's being sold, so and so's being brought in. somebody's having an affair with another woman, someone's left their wife, there's something every single day. And it's hard to handle, but that's the pressures if you want to work at a big club. But I enjoyed it, it was all new to me. I was privileged to be given an opportunity to start managing it at such a young age with such a big club. And I made lots of mistakes and got lots of things right. And we had 5 years there where we were very successful, and we left the club in great nick.
During his career as both player and manager spanning over 2 decades, Graeme has had the experience of English, Scottish and continental football.
Well, I think when I was playing there was a big difference, but I think that's all changed. I think football has become very similar. I think maybe because of stronger refereeing, but I think our football at one time was it was more aggressive and more up and at 'em style. And I think because the refereeing has become stronger in our country, I think that's made it more similar to what's happening on the continent. I think players are allowed to express themselves better now than without the threat of someone coming straight through and from behind. And it's hard to make. People ask that question and always will ask that question. But, why should it be any different? You play the same size pitch, the same weight of ball, same rules.
Looking at your Scotland career, 54 caps?
Guilty. I should have had more, because when I went to Liverpool, we were quietly encouraged not to go and play in friendly internationals.
Yeah.
At Liverpool at the time, we were playing in European Cup games, we were playing in League Cup, which was an important trophy then, FA Cup, and obviously league games.
Right.
And we were encouraged not to go and play in friendlies. And Alan and Hansen and I would never go. Kenny, when he wanted to go and play in every single game he could. And I think he's got over 100 caps in Kenny.
Yeah, 100 plus.
And we were discouraged, and plus it was always an opportunity for Kenny to go back up to Glasgow. And I should have played more, but
Whilst not being as involved with the football world as he has been, Graeme and his partner are kept busy preparing for the arrival of their second son. But football still very much flows through his veins.
I think in football, as you know, you never know what's around the corner. I mean, I want to work. I've always loved football. I will always love football. You'll be the same.
Yeah,
if you play the game,
love it.
if you play the game, it never goes away. And I think as long as I'm drawing breath, I'll always love football. And I think I'll always be in a situation that I would want to work. And although I'm not working at the moment, I'll wait for the phone to ring. And if not, I'll have a great garden in a few years' time.
I'm sure it'll ring.
Yeah.
Graeme, thanks very much.
Pleasure.
Cheers.
Pleasure.
Cheers.
Pleasure. Pleasure.